maybe a little bit difficult to first do this. Uh-oh. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Athena's Garage. In today's video, we're going to be putting some ditch lights on the Tundra. Let's get right into it. This is the things we have. So, now, I am not sponsored by Nylite, but I'm going with them again. They are pretty cheap relative to the LED market, so that's what we're going with today. I actually got their mounting brackets for the Tundra, and I have to say I am impressed. For the price of these things, they are super thick. I mean, that's like 1/4 inch steel. Maybe not, I don't know. It looks super thick. And it's sturdy. I highly doubt they're gonna move. And for the lights, we went with these 60-watt spot and flood LEDs. I went with the yellow lens ones because I think it'll look kind of cool sitting up there on the truck. And this kit actually comes with the wiring harness already, which, hey, that's awesome. And then as a second thing, sorry, I keep bumping the tripod here. I got this switch for inside the truck, just like on the previous video. Same thing from Nylite. All this stuff is from them. So again, I'm not sponsored, but hey, Nylite, if you want to hit me up, here we go. This is the kit for the Toyota. It's a switch that'll fit it. So let's get over to the truck and start doing some stuff. I think the first thing I'm going to do is try to mount these ditch light brackets first, just because I know I have some help right now, and if I need help holding this hood up while I slide them in, it's gonna be easier to do it now than later on when I'm not gonna have as much help. So let's go over to the truck. I know it's a 12 millimeter where the hood hinge is, and I know this is the passenger side over here. So let me bring you guys over there and let's try to hook this on. So I popped this little, I believe it's like the windshield washer fluid hose off because it's gonna be in the way. And I'm going to try to attempt to take these two 12 millimeter bolts off, maybe do one at a time and then slip this thing on and then kind of maybe turn it so that I have access to do the second one, like tighten it back up. But let's start trying it. Maybe take this top one off, set this to the side, kind of get it out of the way, and we shall see. Hopefully this works easily, or like I think it's going to. If I do one at a time, I think it'll be okay. And I do believe you want it to go underneath, not over. Like, you want it to go over this bracket, not under it, just because I think if you go under it, it's gonna lift the hood up and put it in a different position. So, see, let's see if we could do this. See, that was my plan, is to kind of like set it in here crooked. Let's see. I don't know if this is gonna screw in any. It kind of screws in, but doesn't give me a lot of room under here. Let's see what we can do here. This one is in there tight. Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna try to keep a little pressure on the hood in case it decides to fall. But the top bolt is in, so it shouldn't technically fall. Be careful not to hit your truck like that. Oh my God, I just did it again. Okay. I felt the hood move a little bit, so it definitely shifted some. Okay, now that that's in, we should be able to start tightening this thing up. Now, I don't know the torque spec on this. I'm just gonna snug it up, and later on, you can adjust it up, as you could slide it up or down a little bit. I may slide it all the way down because it looks like we'll have plenty of room here, and go with that configuration. There we go. And now this hose, does it clip back in? It does, boom. So our mount is on. Boy, it is sturdy too. Let's take a look at this thing. So You can see it's not touching anything. It's off of the hood right there, and it gives us a nice little mounting point. I mean, it doesn't move at all. It's solid. So I'm gonna do the other side real quick, and I'll bring you guys back for the next part. I got both sides on now. The unfortunate thing, what I've just noticed is because I've added that light bar to the hood bulge, the hood shocks here won't hold the weight of it. You know, they're old. They probably should be replaced. I need to replace them soon. And unfortunately, I didn't realize that when I was putting on this bracket over here and crushed my finger. It started falling down when I had that bracket in, but it's fine. So now we need to I think what I might do is get the lights and mount them up loosely, and then get the wiring harness and figure out where and how I'm gonna do that. So let's get the lights. I'm gonna bring over the bench and show you what I wanna do. The ditch light brackets came with the heavier duty bolts and a nylon nut, so I'm probably going to use them. This one still has the plastic on the lens. This other light, wherever it is back here, does not. Took it off earlier. And then we have our little nut and bolt kit right here. So I'm going to use the heavier duty bolts that came with the ditch light brackets than the ones that came in this kit. What we're gonna do is this attaches kind of, I believe, like this, so that when you mount it, you can rotate it like that. So we need to get a short bolt, a washer, lock washer, maybe, my hands work, and slip it on like this, while at the same time, here is our heavier duty bolt that came with the kit, and here's another one over here. Well, I guess we'll just use that one. So you want to slip this in first before you mount this other bolt up, because it kind of just wedges in there and locks into place. And then we can slide this little nut over and just loosely screw that on. As you can see, this kind of slides so you can have a little bit more position of where you want to angle this. And then what we'll do is we'll go over to the truck, and I'll mount one side, and then again I'll do the other side. Let's see, these lights, the wires are on the same side, so it doesn't matter which light goes where. And then obviously we're going to use the nylon bolt wherever it is. Did I lose it? No, the two of them are in here. So we'll use a nylon bolt, and I might as well use a washer and lock washer. Why not? So let's go over to the truck and mount one, and then I'll do the other one off camera. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You got a nut on the bottom, you slide it through, and then you put your washer, lock washer, and then nut, which again, I'm using this nylon nut. Maybe a little bit difficult to first do this. Uh-oh. Well, that kind of sucks. I lost that washer down there. So let me lift the hood up and see if I can get that, and I'll bring you guys back. Let's try this again. So, washer, try not to drop anything. It's gonna be kind of a pain. Washer, probably don't need this lock washer, but might as well. Let's try to lose it again. And then our nut, if I can get it on here. Thankfully, we only have to do this one time. And once it's started, we should be good to go. Okay, let me get a wrench so we can turn this. So we should be able to turn this light wherever we want and have a little bit of angle like that. So I may just tighten it up a little bit because I don't want it super tight. Tighten this back one up a little bit just so it doesn't slide around as much. And I may, it just depends on how I want this light shining, where I want it shining. But let me tighten this bottom one up a little bit. Both lights are on and they are tightened up just enough. Let's open the hood and make sure they don't hit anywhere. Not even close anywhere. So we should be good on them touching anything. Now what I need to do is get the wiring harness out and figure out how I'm going to wire these things, and then where I'm actually going to run the wiring. And I need to figure out a way to hold this hood up. So I need to get a piece of wood or something underneath these hinges. So let me go do that. This is just a loose rundown of this wiring harness that comes with it. Positive, negative, fuse, relay, and then you have one side, which this is the same scenario that I had with the previous light bar and wiring harness that came from Nylite. I'm going to end up cutting these things off because it's a pain in the ass to get to the firewall, these giant pieces, and I'm not even using this, so I won't need that. So I'll probably just cut this off, and then, or maybe I'll cut this end off and keep this end. I don't know. We'll see when we get inside the truck. But the other end is what we're after right now, which is these two right here and these two right here. So this side is obviously going to be the driver's side, passenger side because it's got the longer end to it. And then it does come with these male ends. So we're going to probably go over to the truck and try to connect these things to the light pods and see if they connect. If they don't, I have another little system that I'm going to use. So let's get over there and try this out. All right, so what I've decided to do, I am not using these things. They're a little bit big for this wire, and thankfully I have these waterproof plugs and switches, or yeah, waterproof. So unfortunately my audio corrupted here. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I was just telling you these are the waterproof plugs I'm going to use, and these are the solder heat shrink connectors that I'm going to use. I don't really know what else I was saying other than that. Just going to put them together, so we're just going to cut this off here and move on. It's taken me a minute to decide where to run this wiring harness, but I think I've decided to run it up through this little foam, like this insulated foam thing on the hood, because there's some other areas that looks like this windshield washer fluid hoses ran, and I'm going to kind of tie along with that. And so what I've done is I cut the end off because I am going to use these things, and I'm going to probably have to extend the wire on the other side because it's not going to be long enough, but I wanted to get this side done because it's the farthest away. I wanted to make sure there was enough room for this to click in and solder in here, and then we'll worry about the other side in a bit. I don't think I have long enough, like thick enough wire, so I may have to put this on hold until I get some more wire. It is also getting really cold out and I'm in shorts, so I could probably go put some on, but I'm lazy. So let me solder these two heat shrink and solder these things together, and we'll move on to what I'm going to do with the other side. Unfortunately, I'm not really happy with the way these connectors are. They're a little bit too small for this thick of a wire over here. So what I want to double check, since they are connected now, is pop this connector in and go put the hot and negative on and make sure this light over here turns on. Well, they came on, so they do have power. I can't see how they look, so let me know. What I'm going to do, I actually chopped these two off, the connectors right here, and I'm still going to use these but in a different way. The way this kit is ran, I don't need the connections right here. I'm going to use them down a little bit further. So I'm just going to tape off these ends and tape them back together. Just kind of tape them off so that there's no way anything electrical can touch these, because they will still be powered in case I end up needing these for some reason, which I shouldn't, but just in case. Tape those off, and then I'm going to tape it all together. Back is a whole system. This tape has been a nightmare. Just kind of like that. That way I can tuck it up here and out of the way. And then, like I said, I'm going to cut it further down. So let's gotta get this wire up above this little hook right here, like that. And then this can go there. And then this is gonna go over here, and I need to find a new plug that'll fit there, and I'm gonna cut it over here. Now that the wire is kind of hanging here, I'm gonna zip tie it along where this other wiring harness is. Literally gonna probably put it in the same, close to the same spot. And now that this ditch light is over here, flip this around, have it come through here, the little connector, and I may cut it like up here somewhere, and then be able to wire the connector in here in line with this. Hell, I may be even able to use this other connector. So, well, it's already got these wires on it, so I can't. But I'll just try this route. So I think what I'm going to do, I like this here. I can run this however I want under here where the other harness goes. And this is going to come up through here and probably zip tie here. So let's like cut it right here. I'm just gonna snip it and see what happens. Let's just do it. Okay. Okay. Now we will pull these wires out and get to connecting. Not sure if all this wiring is gonna work. This has taken me exponentially longer than I thought it was going to. So we should just be able to hook this waterproof connector up, plug it in, and I hope that this freaking works. I'm not sure. I just keep getting distracted and I keep having to do things. So hopefully all these connections work like I planned on them to. Just got to connect a few things and this light should technically turn on. Let's see. Okay. Okay, they both turn on. Thank goodness. It's got a loose connection, that's why it's doing that. So that's all I needed to know. I was afraid that all these connections I was making were not working because of all this weird soldering and stuff I had to do and this weird connecting. So now all I should do is have to do is connect, string this up here, kind of let it run with this, and then maybe connect this down here with this system and where it runs to, and then we should be good to go, hopefully. To the inside cab, I mean. And then we'll get to the cab. It is taking way longer. It's way later than I want it to be. I thought this was only take like an hour. It's been like 2 or more. But let me see if I can finish this. I took the little switch and cut off the end of it because I'm not using that switch. And I ran the switch, you can see the end of it right there, the clipped end, or the clip end. And I ran it through that big rubber grommet right there, which comes out underneath your driver's side right here. So I fished it through, and now what I need to do is pull this kick plate off right here, that one, and then there's to get this one off, there's a little nut right there, and then 2 10-millimeter bolts to pull this panel off. It'd be a lot easier if there was some light in here, but I don't have any light. It's way later than I want to admit it is. So pull that off, and then this blank spot right here is where we're going to hook up our new switch, which I'll show you how to wire that in a second, when I get everything off. Nylite gives you this little way to wire this switch, and I'm going with the easier way. I don't have to find this accessory wire and wire it up. All that does is make it so the little writing down here stays lit as soon as you turn the key. I don't care about that. I know where the switch is, so I'm going with the easier method, which is just connecting green to positive, black to negative, and then the 2 reds to the outgoing, which is going to be white on our wiring harness. So I'm going to go ahead and solder these up, get them connected, and show you over on the truck once I'm done. Sorry for the light quality in here. I have wired this to the connector. Like I said, green to red, black to black, the 2 reds to the white. So this should technically, once I plug it into the connector, which I threw in right here, you just pop that out and it slides right in. I'll run this wire up, over, following along this whole harness, get it tucked in, get it tight, get all this back up here, and then I'll pull the harness back through so that I can connect it up front, and then I'll show you guys where I'm at from there. I'm just going to electrical tape all this up so it stays tight and connected, and then I'll bring you back. This is done. So there's my original light bar light, and here's the new one. I like it. It's actually not recessed, which I didn't realize this one was. So obviously it's not working yet. It's not plugged in. All of it's back together. Just got to throw my floor mat back in, and the interior is done. So let's go hook it up to the battery, and we should be good to go. I have the system crudely hooked up. Nothing is tied away, tucked in. This is not permanent. I'm exhausted. I just want to get these things done, and I'll mess with it more in the morning. I just wanted to see what they look like, make sure the switch works. So let's see. This is the first time I'm seeing it as you are. Let's go ahead and make sure the switch is working. Everything is connected and plugged in. Switch comes on. So now we can close the hood. I'm not even going to adjust the lights because, like I said, I'm exhausted, so I'm gonna close the hood, get it backed up, and turn it on, and we'll see how it looks. Oh. Oh. Well, there they are, guys. I'll get a better adjustment and some better photos tomorrow. I don't have my mic on anymore, so hopefully it's not too weird. They look awesome, especially I just drove around the road, which I'll show you guys later in a different, in some B-roll, but they definitely light the freaking road up. I'm super happy with them. I love how they look. It gives me a crap ton more light. I mean, to the sides, I can see everything. It is several days later. I've had time to come in here and reconfigure and rewire everything how I want. So if you look on here, our two positives are coming off the positive terminal down underneath here. One for the light bar on the hood, and the other for the ditch lights. Same with this, the negative. The two fuses I've kind of just stuffed down here in front of this fuse box, and then the relays, I didn't have enough room on this ground, so what I've done is just took two self-tapping screws and literally just screwed them in right here and put the relays right there. Now, it's so far been okay. I've ran it like this for a couple days. Down here kind of looks like it's a mess. I'm not really happy with how this looks. So I may in the future do something else, but right now that's how it is. The wire comes out from over there through here down to the relays, and then from the relays it goes down along this fuse box to the grommet down there and through the firewall. Now over here, what I've done is connect the wire right here, zip tied this harness to the hinge. Nothing pinches over here. It's all out of the way of the hinge and the hood. Obviously it's ran up through here. I have this zip tied, and then it's ran through this little felt pad on the hood down over here. Everything's tidied up and zip tied here. Now I have adjusted and tightened the ditch lights so they're in the correct spots that I want them to. So I'll probably throw in some B-roll footage here in just a second and show you guys what they look like. I definitely think they're a great addition. Now, obviously these are cheap lights. They are not like top tier lights. I paid $30 for both lights and a harness, so don't expect top quality stuff. I will say for the money though, you do get a decent deal. They're pretty cheap, but they're bright enough for me for how often I drive this thing. I like the way they look. They give a little bit more aggressive look to the front of this vehicle. Unfortunately, I still have to prop the hood up with a stick. I do have some new hood strut lift things coming. But anyway, guys, let's throw it to some B-roll. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of this one. If you like this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing. Like this video if it helped you out at all. I will have links to just about everything I use, especially these lights, the harnesses, all that stuff. They are affiliate links, so they give a little kickback to my channel, and to me, help me out a little bit. If you want to go a little step further to help support the channel, consider becoming a member. 99 cents a month. You get a little bit early access to some of my videos, and I post 1 to 2 videos, like update videos a month, to just, like I said, give updates, and you get a little bit more personal side of me instead of the YouTube side of me. But this is it, guys. The lights look awesome. Thank you for watching. I don't know what else to say. Hope you have a good one. That's it. Bye.